Happy Friday, Buffs fans. Welcome to this week's episode of ScoBuff Sports Live. And yes, we are still stuck in space. I'm Kieran Warger.
I'm Zachary Giesensaw. We've got a lot lined up for y'all today. Getting started, we'll take you to our very own Leo Rivera with a recap of last week's football game against Cincinnati.
Sports, and I am here after Colorado's 34-23 victory over the Cincinnati Bearcats. Offensively, Colorado was off to a hot start with Shedeur Sanders completing his first 15 pass attempts for what is now a school record. In addition, the running game had over 100 yards before the fourth quarter even began, and Colorado is now bowl eligible for the first time since the COVID season. I'm Leo Rivera, and I'm here with ScoBuff Sports.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? In last week's win over the Cincinnati Bearcats, the Buffaloes gained bowl eligibility for the first time since 2020. This bowl eligibility comes for the first time in head coach Deion Sanders' tenure for the Buffs. The Buffs still stay in the hunt for the Big 12 Conference title, and with 4 games remaining on their schedule, in Coach Prime's words, they can get Peggy a nice bowl game.
The Buffs are not only bowl eligible after their dub, they're also ranked number 23 in the AP poll. However, they stayed out of the coaches poll but had the most receiving votes of non-top 25 teams with 75. Colorado joins the likes of BYU, Kansas State, and Iowa State as the 4 Big 12 schools in the top 25. This is the second year Coach Prime's squad is ranked, which has not happened since former head coach Gary Barnett in 2002 and 2003.
Travis Hunter became the first player ever to win Big 12 Offensive and Defensive Player of the Week in the same season, following the Buffaloes' Week 9 win over Cincinnati. On the offensive end, Hunter recorded 9 receptions for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. On the other side of the ball, Hunter had 2 tackles and 4 pass defenses. Colorado's number 12 continues to impress week in and week out, breaking records and further proving why he should be given the Heisman Award.
Travis Hunter's Heisman odds have improved after another monster performance, moving him plus 300 and in third place. The race is tight with Oregon's quarterback Dillon Gabriel as the favorite, shortly followed by Cam Ward, Hunter, and Ashton Jeanty. We have a great Heisman race on our hands moving into the final weeks of the campaign.
Sophomore running back former Isaiah Augustave was named Big 12 Newcomer of the Week this week. His 91 yards and 1 touchdown on 22 carries against Cincinnati was the best stat line of his career as a Buffalo. Accounting for 60% of CU's running back carries over the last 2 games, the Arkansas transfer has taken over the number 1 running back spot for the Buffs.
How's it going, Buff fans? I am Nick Evans back again with this week's Buff Banner. It's a slow week today, what with the bye week coming up, so I think it's a good idea to discuss the elephant in the room. Well, the elephant is a buffalo and the room is a football field. I'm talking about Ralphie today. Ralphie 6 to be exact, or Ember by her actual name, and she's been bad, like really bad. Look on social media and all you see is negative comments about her. And I know you've seen her run before, and I have to agree. It's demoralizing to see our mascot trot on the field compared to her useful, forceful run. Now, Ember made her debut in 2021. And Colorado hadn't had a Ralphie run for the 2020 season after Ralphie retired, although nothing about that season was normal. So, I must say for her debut season as a young calf in 2021, she did pretty well. She was, of course, really small, and she didn't run too far, but again, she was a calf, and she would grow to be better. But so far through this season, she just hasn't hit her stride yet, and a lot of fans online have been comparing her to the other Ralphies before her who had been running a lot further and stronger at her age. Let me play devil's advocate for a second, though, because it seems like there's a few positives that I see online that you've heard. First of all, she's a Buffalo. She doesn't understand your comments about her. In fact, I don't even think she really understands why she runs in a horseshoe shape in front of 50,000 people a week and then goes to a ranch the rest of her week. Do you think she ever talks with other Buffaloes, like a stranger at a bar with a surprisingly deep story? Would they believe that? Anyway, let me bring you to point number 2. She made her debut at such a young age. She was only about 15 months old when she made her first run, when all 5 Buffaloes before her didn't start running until they were 2 or even 3 years old. Think about it. It's like a young quarterback that just got thrown into the gauntlet on a bad team like the Panthers. She never had time to sit and learn her stride. You gotta wonder if she sat 1 year, like last year, that she'd materialize better, just like a rookie quarterback. Now, third, she's running in perhaps the loudest environment in school history. You can imagine how quiet it was compared to this year, during the dark ages of the program in 2014 and so on. And even when the school was contenders, the capacity wasn't the size it was now. With how loud it gets at games, I feel nauseous sometimes at the games, and I have to run for 50 yards in a horseshoe. And fourth, these late games have to be tiring her out. I'm sure she has incredibly long days on Saturdays, and those are even longer with these 8 p.m. kickoffs we've been having. So, when your animal brain is begging for you to go to bed at 7 o'clock, and you still have to run twice in over an hour, you'd be walking out of that gate too. Regardless of all that, I'd say just give her time. She won't be going anywhere soon, but you have to wonder if the program would do anything if she kept just trotting out after every game. Maybe they'd break the rule by retiring her? It'll be interesting. But we all love Ember though, so here's hoping she improves. Now, Buffalo's lived to about 13 years old, and every Ralphie before her has ran for 13 seasons, or about 70 games. Everyone besides Ralphie II, who unfortunately passed away after running one night against Stanford. So, for comparison, Ember has ran for about 23 games so far. She has many, many more seasons ahead of her. But that's about it from me this week. I've been Helmet Fashion Judge, Heisman Analyst, and now Buffalo supporter, Nick Evans. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that, Nick. And that about brings us to this week's trivia question. Our question this week is inspired by our football team gaining bowl eligibility this past weekend. The question we have is, what is the furthest distance the Buffs football team could potentially travel for a bowl game? We'll have the answer later in this newscast. Stick around. We've got the latest from Buffs' Big 12 run in the soccer tournament, and we look ahead at the women's basketball team as their season tip-off is right around the corner.
On Sunday, Colorado women's basketball kicked off their season with a preseason exhibition against the Colorado School of Mines. Oklahoma State transfer Lee Orgonzo led 10 newcomers to the CU squad with 18 points in 20 minutes of play. The Buffs defense forced 26 turnovers by the Orediggers and were in the control from the start. 11 of the 12 Buffaloes who took part scored at least a point, with all 4 freshmen finding time on the court, including Tabitha Betson, who started the contest. In the end, Colorado pulled away and dominated the second half, winning by a final score of 91-46.
The Buffs showed much promise in their exhibition against Mines, giving Colorado fans a first look into their new roster. Returning guard Frida Foreman, who did not play against the Orediggers, appears to be CU's primary option offensively. Veteran transfer portal additions such as Jamesigio, youngsters such as Kennedy Sanders are intriguing pieces to watch as the Buffaloes enter the program's 50th season and a new era in the Big 12 Conference.
That new era of women's basketball begins this Monday as the Buffs head on the road to face the Wyoming Cowgirls to open the regular season. The Cowgirls placed third in the Mountain West last season, but were just 1-4 against Power Conference opponents. For the Buffaloes, senior returners Nkindwell, Frida Foreman, and Sarah Rose Smith begin the final seasons of their collegiate careers. Head coach J.R. Payne begins her 9th season at the helm for Colorado. Tip-off from Laramie is set for 5:30 p.m.
The men's basketball team tips off their season this Monday against Eastern Washington. After a long off-season and a brand new roster, Tad Boyle and his players are ready to hit the hardwood. Tip-off is at 7 p.m. this Monday at the CU Events Center, so show up and get loud to start the Buff season off on the right foot.
The Colorado women's soccer team stunned Utah in a 2-1 victory on Wednesday. This snapped the Buffs' winless and scoreless streak in impressive fashion. Ava Priest scored the game-winning goal on a cross-field kick from the left side. Colorado will now play top-seeded TCU tomorrow at 10:45 a.m.
On Tuesday, the women's soccer team got shout-outs by the Big 12 earning awards across the table. Standout goalkeeper Jordan Nidus earned Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Year. She was also nominated for First Team All-Conference. Nidus' 11 clean sheets this year proved her worthy of the award, leading her team to a Big 12 tournament. Sophomore Faith Leyva also tallied a team all-conference. Junior Juliana Hayward was selected all-conference second team, and Jace Holly earned all-freshman honors. The soccer team looks to continue their run in the Big 12 tournament this weekend.
The volleyball team had a tough week this week, going 0-2. The Buffs lost to BYU on Friday, losing 3-1. The team then traveled to Fort Worth for another Big 12 matchup, where they lost to the TCU Horned Frogs 3-0 on Wednesday. The Buffs sit at a 10-12 record on the year, and the team is coming into this slate of games with a 4-game losing streak. They travel to Waco today to take on Baylor. The Bears have a 14-6 record on the year, and Baylor comes in being ranked 17th in the country. They then take on Utah at the CU Event Center on Wednesday. The Utes have a 16-4 record on the year, but on a 1-game losing streak.
The Buffs golf squad competed in the Nania Invitational in Hawaii this week, led by freshman Sydney Givens. Colorado finished 7th with a team score of 19 strokes over par. This was CU's last tournament of the fall, and the team has 3 months to practice before traveling to Mexico to compete in the Collegiate Invitational at Guadalajara in January.
The Colorado men's cross-country team just wrapped up their pre-nationals race in Madison, Wisconsin, with the women's team placed 4th at their race at the Atora Barrios Invitational. Today, the men's team will be competing in the Big 12 Championship in Waco, Texas, where they will be racing against some of the best teams in the nation, hosted by Baylor.
On Thursday, the Colorado Athletics Department announced a new indoor facility for the tennis team. In partnership with the city of Boulder, the courts will be built to address the rapid growth of racket sports in the area, including for the future of tennis practice and competition at CU. The facility is expected to be completed by 2026.
Who wants to do basketball? Who wants to do football? Who wants to do soccer? Who wants to do volleyball? That's so sick. Videography. Anyone want to do that?
The men's Division II hockey team gains a home win this past Sunday against Metro State with a score of 3-1. The game was a lot of back and forth, and the Buffs pulled their offensive game last minute in the third period, where they scored 2 goals in just the third period alone. The Buffs will take a break this week and will be traveling to Laramie, Wyoming to face off the Cowboys. Puck drop of this game will happen at 7:30 p.m.
The men's D1 hockey team will travel to Las Vegas this weekend to take on the number 5 ranked UNLV Rebels. The Buffs sit ranked at number 23 on the ACHA rankings with a 5-5 record on the season. Game 1 will be played tonight at 7:30 p.m., followed by Game 2 Saturday night, again at 7 p.m.
After traveling to compete in other states all October, the women's hockey team is back this weekend to defend CU against Wyoming at the CU Rec Center. On Friday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 4 p.m., the teams will take to the ice. If you're not watching in person, you can watch the games live at ScoBuff Sports on our YouTube channel.
The club baseball team will end their fall ball season this weekend against Metro State. They play a 3-game series in Arvada, so unfortunately we are unable to broadcast the series, but we will be cheering on our Buffs from home. The team is looking to close out a successful fall campaign and prepare for the true NCBA season this February.
What's up? I'm Harrison Simeon, bringing you this week's top 3 plays from Colorado sports. Starting off at Folsom Field with an honorable mention. That's why it says number 4, as Jimmy Horn takes this outbreaking route and whoop down the sideline, 57 yards to the house, throws up the deuces, and that caused the refs to call an excessive celebration. They don't appear to be fans of Tyreek Hill's celebration style, as the touchdown got called back. Number 3, Alejandro Mata buffs up 8 for the 2-possession lead from 47 yards out, just over the crossbar to seal the deal against the Bearcats. Number 2, earlier on that drive, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, down the sideline. Look at the two-way stud, the Heisman hopeful, fighting through contact and reeling it in to set the Buffs up in good field position to seal the win and another Big 12 victory for CU. Number 1, Ava Priest. Big 12 tournament, first round. The Buffs were dead in the water just a few minutes prior, and it's in for the victory. What a play from an awkward angle from the midfielder, and that one gets 5 booms from me. That's all for this week's top 3 plays of the week. I've been Harrison Simeon, and we'll be right back after this break, so stay tuned.
And now we move to Tweet of the Week, as we have 2 tweets this week. First, USC commit Julian Lewis came to an official visit to Colorado, taking a photo with the passionate Buff herd, painting letters spelling out Juju. And second, we have Coach Prime calling lifelong superfan Peggy to tell her that the CU football team will be at a bowl game for the first time since 2016.
Peggy, everybody in the locker room can hear you and everybody around the country can hear you.
Oh my God, I am so happy. Thank you. My God, what a turnaround you've done for us.
What we've done, Peggy, first and foremost, we love you, we appreciate you, and we want to thank you, and we want to congratulate you to being able to go to a bowl game this year.
Oh, well, thank you for that. I want to congratulate you for what your team absolutely was wonderful tonight. You've done such a good job, and thank you. Thank you, Dion. And I am so happy. God bless you.
Well, I want you to rest up and get healthy. We got a game ball for you.
I'm trying, and I would have been there if
We know.
If I were younger and if I hadn't just had COVID, I would have been right there. But
We got you.
I can see it much better here at home.
Okay, we love you on Peggy. We love you, Peggy, on 3. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Peggy. You hear that?
Thank you. Congratulations, all you guys, and God bless all of you.
Thank you, Peggy.
And now it's time to reveal the winner of this week's trivia question. If you've been scratching your head over the answer, well, the wait is over. As a reminder, the question was, what is the furthest possible location that Colorado could play in a bowl game? The answer is, drumroll please, Orlando, Florida for the Pop-Tarts Bowl, which is 1,905 miles away from Boulder. This year, because of college realignment rules, Colorado qualifies for both Pac-12 and Big 12 bowl games. No matter where they play, let's just hope that it's somewhere warm.
Buff fans, it's yet another exciting week for CU Athletics. Today, the men's cross-country team is competing in the Big 12 championship, taking on the best programs in the conference. While they'll be running in Waco, there'll also be bumping, setting, and spiking in the women's volleyball team that's heading over to battle Baylor at home also. Oh, shoot. Is that one take? I get confused with that one part, like...
I'm Zachary Giesensaw.
And I'm Kieran Warger. Thank you for watching. And remember, you heard it here first.